Welcome back to class, dear students. In this lesson, I'm going to take you through what we call functions and scopes in JavaScript. Now, we've been mentioning all these things and we've discussed extensively on scope, so I know you've already have an idea. We've been using function as well in the previous lesson. If you miss it, go and watch it. But we have not actually understood it as a beginner. You are confused, like, okay, what's function? So function in JavaScript are building blocks of JavaScript. They allow you to encapsulate code for specific tasks, leading to more organized, readable, and reusable code. Look at that. Organized, readable, and then reusable. That last word, reusable, matters a lot, because it's like, imagine how they do calculator, that each time you want to do 2 times 3, there has to be a new code. No, it's just a single function that does what? Does addition, and then use variable, remember, and allow the user input. It receives the user input, so you can input it, which is the same mechanism that happened here. So let's even use this. You remember that we didn't say this is the amount that should be minted. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't say it that, okay, this is specific. We want different user, which we may not predict. A user may decide, they know that, okay, they have maximum of 10,000 and they can mint maybe in the next 1 month or 3 months or 6 months. You understand? Or 1 year. So they have the luxury for them to mint. So the user may decide to, like, oh, if I mint everything, I may sell this token, or I may just be tempted to trade or do anything. So they will just say, okay, for now, let me mint 1,000, or let me mint just 50%, and maybe later I will come back for the rest. You understand? So anyone decide how much they want to mint per time. They may decide to mint 1. This will not work because it has already reached limit, but it shows you example of what function does, and you have seen them. We use it over here. Look at how it makes that code easier. Everything is in, that update minted token. This function, that is what it does. So I can reuse it anywhere that I need the token to be updated, like this. Now I called it and assign it to this mint results. You understand? So when this gets called, it pass that amount here, pass it here, which we have is part of the things we are learning now, that this, we call it parameter, or there are other names people call it. Let me see. Yeah, parameters. So maybe you had that name, and the function body. So function are declared using function keyword, which is this, and then followed by name, the name of the keyword, the function, then the parameter. That means the value you want to pass into it, because this place allow you to pass something inside this box to be processed by this. So you see, return number times number. So the square. So if I plus 2 here, it will just take this 2 times, then it will be 2 times 2 and return 4 for me. You understand? So that's how function work. It make it reusable. So any place I need square, I don't need to go and be doing it again. Even if I need it 10 times in that for the user, or 100,000 times the user, they will just be calling the same function, this simple function, and it will be useful for them. That's why millions of people keep using the calculator. Because that single function that has been added, there could be addition function, there could be subtraction function. So once you click the subtraction function, it activates the function, and then take your first number and your second number, subtract it. Once you click equals to, call that and give you return the number. So it's the same thing we did here that makes it possible for us to be able to retrieve the number from the input of the user. So the same function is so essential and a building block, and as you can see it, you can't do without it in almost any like programming language I knew. even in smart contracts like Solidity. So function is a building block. That's why I took the time for you as beginner, taking you as in the programming. There's no how you will go through the programming 100 days bootcamp curriculum, either collectively or on your own, that you won't be transformed, because every other programming language you meet become much easier, because once you learn this basic, in fact, I used to say, even if you want to learn backend, you want to learn, if you can, try to just learn front end of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Especially once you have JavaScript, you've been familiar with variable, with function, with conditional statement, you will see that it's the same thing you will see. If you like, go and learn Rust, go and learn Solidity, go and learn. The way they handle it may be different, but it is function. It is variable. It is conditional, if statement, how they may present it. You understand? So it makes you grab other languages that may be more complex, like Rust, much faster, and like Solidity. Sure, Rust is more complex than Solidity because I've done both. Though I didn't stay longer much in Rust, but I've done some of the basic as well. So I can also code in Rust at least to a certain level, and then support myself with AI as well. So I know what it is compared to like Solidity. Yeah, so those are just the things you need to know. Then function expression can also be divine true expression. This can be named or anonymous and are particularly useful for passing function as arguments. So these are like function expression. Like when you start working, there are some anonymous or arrow function that you see that might not really use the name or write the function in full. Like you can see this now, const square equals to function. So which means you can also make a variable to hold the function, the value. Remember, this thing is returning something. So you can put whatever is returning into a variable. Remember, variable is your what? Your container. So this is another thing your variable can hold for you, apart from string, numbers, array, object. It can also hold a function, and that's super powerful because your function can perform a lot of things, then return it to you, and then you can make use of it. Then function hoisting. What is it? Function declaration are hoisted to the top of their scope, allowing them to be used before they are defined in the code. So usually it's like the scope when JavaScript engine are running, they usually like hoist it. That means they put it at the top, so that okay, this thing, like how many like different functions are there, you understand, so that it become easier as they process all those things together. So you should try to as well keep that in mind. So understanding scope, we have learned global scope. When you have your code, this is a global scope. That's why it is accessible for this function and any other thing, function that you are seeing here, like the event listener and all those things. They can tap into both of these and it's available for them. But assuming we just declare it here or inside there without returning it, we won't be able to make use of it. That's why it has to be returned. So it's a way you are saying, okay, make this available outside of this. So some to a degree can be accessible. You understand? Yeah. So, but without that, but if you need it, you need to declare it as global variable scope, global scope. Once it's declared and it's not inside the block, or like all this is not inside the if statement or things like that, not inside function. So, and then when it's inside, you know, those are local variable scope. Then block scope is like in if statement and things like that, like this. Now, the example code, we have done that. Then enhance the, let's try and use it, which I think we have already done it. using the if else statement already, and since it's just a function, so it's like the same something we are using. We have already used the function, though you don't know what it was like that then if you are totally new to this thing, but now you now understand how we came about, what the function is. Then remember the function name. Always try to give it the name for what it does, because it makes life easier for you to troubleshoot if there's issue later, or other people that will be using your code, or especially when you are creating or contributing to an open source where other developer may want to contribute. The simpler the name is, by the time you read the name, you should already have idea what the function does. It's as simple as that. Not function A. Imagine I name this function A. You have to read all the code. So what about if it's like 10, 15, 20 lines, and then I add function B, then it's become, then I'm calling them A. Let A. That's another thing. You shouldn't use bad naming. Use descriptive naming, and you can use things like, I love camel case. That means the initial will be small letter, and then any other thing will be token, amount, total, till we start, so it become readable. So that's just, let me reverse this. So that's just the basic things you need to know about function, and learn as well about scope, which use for loop. So we've done that already. That's it for this lesson. Got question, don't forget. And there are resources. I took time to put some of this for you. Take your time to read broad, to learn more. Like, I make sure I just give you the basic essential. So JavaScript is broader, but don't be bothered, don't be scared. You have AI. I keep telling you, this is a new age, not the old age that you must learn all this. No, just learn the basic of the language, and then be ready to get your hand dirty with code, with the AI back and forth. You get solid thing built in shorter time. So even as a beginner. Now, if you have any question specific to this lesson, leave comment. You want support collaboration with other Web3 developer, join the Discord, or to get up-to-date official news and updates, that's the place to be. But when you have specific question to specific lesson of a course, the best is under that course, please. Is the best option for you. So let's see. That's just it. I remain Solomon Foske of DProgramming University. Keep the program sweet, high, and alive. Your assurance to succeed in the long term as a developer. And please always do good to humanity with your programming skill and whatever knowledge you have, and not evil, to make the world a better place for us all and also the universe. That's it. See you in next lesson.